Hey, it's Damian. Welcome back. I have an interesting video for you today. Some of you have requested for different lead generation methods, lead generation automations, and I figured I'd show you one that I made for a company that I work with. They use it to find targeted leads within a geographical area since they are limited, since their niche is restricted by location. So to do that, we're going to be using Appify to scrape Google Maps and get data out of that. We'll feed that into AnyMailFinder to to potentially find emails that we can use for cold emailing, or if not, we could cold call. And at the end of it, we'll have GPT kind of go through their websites to kind of see if they are in fact a customer that's worth for us to pursue. Basically, if they are a customer that aligns with the type of client that we want to service. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, and I'm going to start with a new make.com scenario, and before I do anything, I will quickly show you the few different tools that you'll need to achieve this. First is you're going to need Appify, an account in Appify. Second, you're going to need AnyMailFinder or any email enrichment service, and of course Google Drive with access to Google Sheets, and you should be good to go. Of course, you'll also need an OpenAI account to be able to use OpenAI to pass the tech. I mean, to go through the websites and kind of see and to qualify the leads essentially. So let's get back into make.com and search for the Appify module. And on here, you are going to select the run actor. Now, if we go back to Appify, Appify has a bunch of different actors that they host different actors that are put on here by different companies, different developers, and what they essentially do is they'll let you use these actors to kind of go into the web, go online and probably get information or data, scrape websites, or do whichever you like. The one that we'll be using specifically is the Google Maps extractor. If you don't see it on the main page, you just need to look for Google Maps extractor. And in here, it kind of tells you how much it would charge you for the number of results that you get. And it's always it's a good tip to know that even with a free account, you are going to be getting $5 worth of usage per month. And as you can kind of see, for the purposes of this video, you can get quite a lot of leads even with just a free account. So it's it's unbelievable how efficient they can make their process so that you can just use this for free for essentially. And if you are looking for leads within a local area, it's going to be very efficient. So this is what the extractor looks like. I'm just going to use a search term, for example, roof installer. I went ahead and changed this just so the privacy of the company that I worked with. And I'm going to keep Houston, Texas. And I'm going to search for 250 locations. What this is essentially doing is this is basically going into like Google Maps, and it's going and searching for roofing installers based on search queries, and it's kind of finding every thing that you can possibly find. So you can see how there's lots of different companies that you can possibly find. So that's essentially what this scraper is going to do. It's going to run a search on Google Maps, visit each and every website, and try to find all of the data that it can find with regards to each and every company. I will bring this down to like 100 just for the purposes of this video. And some of the things that you can enable in here are deep city scrape, what this will do is it's going to make sure that it can find every single. So like when you zoom in to Google Maps, you know how you can, when you zoom in, you're going to find a lot more search results, and that's essentially what that deep city scrape does. The rest of this stuff you won't have to worry too much about. I just went and put in a selected category. Google has their own choices of categories. You can go ahead and choose from here. Roofing contractor. I just went ahead and put just that one. Maybe that'll help with the search, and you can just leave everything else as it is. So at this point, you could just save and start it from Appify itself, and it's going to give you the results in the runs tab. But what we're going to do is we are going to run this through make.com, and the reason we want to run it through make.com is so that we can automate the run and have all that data. You can collect the data in make.com and then transfer it to wherever you want to transfer it to. Here, if you did it here, you are going to have to manually take the data from here and then work with the data. So we want to automate all of that. So that's why. So if we go back into make.com, you'll see I've already connected my Appify account. How you do that is you get your Appify API token, put that in here, give it a connection name, whichever you prefer, and then you can set up an account. You can set up your account, you can connect your account essentially in here. Once you do that, you can then choose the actor that you need. We'll run it synchronously, and now we have to input JSON. So here's the easy way to get that. So in Appify, if you went ahead and already chose filled out everything on here that you needed, if you already filled everything out in here, you can just go on top. You can see there's a JSON button. Click on that, and it's going to give you the JSON that you can use, which is very easy. So all you need to do is copy that, go back into make.com and paste it. And make sure to not just do a Control V, it's going to look weird. So what you want to do is Control and paste as plain text, so it'll follow the right and a clean format. The rest of this stuff you don't need to worry about. We'll just leave it as default, and this will essentially run the actor, right? This will run the actor, so which is all we need to do here. Once we start running this, it's going to take some time. So what you want to do is make sure to keep a second scenario to collect the data from this completed run, so that way you won't have to worry about the make.com timing out. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just going to save this, and I'll name this as run Appify search. Save that. And that's all this scenario is going to do. I'll duplicate this and go back. And I'm going to create a new Appify and watch actor runs. I'm going to have to create a webhook out of this. My finished actor run webhook. I'm just going to put Google Maps extractor. That's this guy. All right. So once we have this is going to check to see when the actor completes its run, because it's going to take a couple of minutes to run. So just when we'll start this eventually. So we can actually do that right now. So we'll save this. have it start to run as soon as anything arrives, and I will run this actor one time. It's going to take a while. There we go. Okay, so it ran, and here are the details. It's found a bundle ID, it's got user ID, actor ID, meta opinions, build ID, default dataset ID. So this is what we need. So this is the information that we need out of this. So if you go back to the diagram, we'll do this as appify to leads. I'll save that there like that for now. But essentially what we need to do is, once this runs, we are going to need to get dataset items. And we can get dataset items using the dataset ID that we acquire from here, which is default dataset ID, JSON format, and for right now we're just going to limit it to 100, but we'll just leave it at 1,000 because we're not going to get any more than 100 because we only searched for 100, but we'll leave it like this for now. And once this is done, we are going to then need to get the website information. All right, so for that we need to do an HTTP module. So with an HTTP module, we are going to make a request. The URL is going to be okay. So this is going to be a little tricky. So just for the purposes of this video and for all things sane, I guess, I will okay, I need to get the dataset ID, save, go back, do this one because this one was completed, and we are going to get dataset ID out of there, go into diagram, and just for the purposes of completing this flow, we are going to use the original dataset ID and run this like so. Run this module only, and you have your full data set. And now that you have that, we can get the website out of the website entry, and you can see how it's given you a whole bunch of other information. So this set of information is going to be key. And now we have the HTTP request, which is going to check to see if we have a valid website. After that, we are going to add 2 more modules, and I'm just going to copy paste these in here just to show you what they are. So the first one is an HTML to text module, and it's going to take the data out of the HTTP request. Okay, and how you get this is it's a text parser. So from the text parser option, you get the HTML to text. So what we're essentially doing with these 2 modules here is we're taking the information that comes out of HTTP and cleaning it up so we can then take it and send it over to ChatGPT to read through. Doing these 2 is going to save us on a lot of token costs when it comes to sending the information to ChatGPT, because the first one is going to clean all of that extra unwanted HTML, and the second one provided the text exists, valid website. So this is essentially asking you if there is any text that comes out of this. So that means that's just to check if it's a valid website. And then we're going to clean it by trimming down any of the extra lines and any of the extra spaces, right? So we're going to be removing all the spaces and then removing all the lines. So just to keep the block of text as concise as possible while keeping all of the useful data. So once we have that, we are going to be doing a query to ChatGPT. And that's this module. So what we did was used OpenAI and create a completions. So this is the module that you want to use for this. And you have to establish a connection. So you have to have an account with ChatGPT to do this, with OpenAI specifically. And select create a chat completion. I'm going to use the GPT-4o system. Of course, you can use whichever one you like. If anything, I might do the 4o mini for this just to save on token costs. It does not have to be all that accurate, so this is perfectly fine for it. Essentially what I'm asking here is that it is a business, so it is an intelligent research assistant for a business that sells roofing material for contractors. And the message I tell it is I'm going to send it all of the past text from the company website. I want it to read through it and see if they're compatible, and then reply in a JSON format saying whether it is yes or no, and then give me a response as to why it decided that. So yes or no and the reason. And then I am going to go with the third section which says user and give it the cleaned text. And I'm going to do a max token count of 1200. I think that should be sufficient. Add a break module, which you need to enable allowing storing of incomplete executions, because it's just a safety measure in this case. And then once that's complete, we use pass JSON to pass the JSON that comes out of ChatGPT. The next thing you want to do is add a second OpenAI module. And this one is going to give us a summary of the company. You could technically do these both at the shit. So yeah, my browser crashed and I had to remake this whole thing again. Well, I guess that's a lesson learned. Save. This is why I need to save. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. The page crashed for a second. I had to redo this entire section. Okay, so I'm going to AnyMailFinder. And we are going to search for a company's emails. And the only way we can search for a company's emails is by providing the domain, which is what we needed that website address for. So I'm going to show you how to quickly set that up. Once you have AnyMailFinder, you go into API. Don't worry about being able to see my API key. I can just rotate it and then the previous one goes away. But for now, I'm going to use this. And so don't try to steal it. I mean, try to steal it if you can. But we'll switch this out. Connect that to my AnyMail temp. That's creating a connection. Search by domain, and the domain is going to be our website. Only used fully verified emails, and that's all we're going to get out of them, which is a good thing. So we can then go ahead and save all of that into a Google Sheet, which I will pull from here to save time, but I will show you how to get it. It's basically an add row function. So you'll go in here, go to Google Sheets, and in Google Sheets you are going to search for the add a row module, and that's what this module is. And what we're essentially going to do here is connect this to our Google Sheet that we are going to save all the information onto. I already have a sample sheet ready that we're going to use, which is this one. And I have only one sheet on there, so that's sheet 1, and we'll just go ahead and populate this with the information that we have. So we first need to look for company name, which in here would be, it's interesting, I don't see, there you are, title, my bad. Website is website, address is, of course, you guessed it, address. Phone number is, we'll use the unformatted number. Review count, of course we can use that if we wanted to, just for convenience. The description that we get out of here is going to be, of course, number 9. So I'll just go ahead and paste in the result out of this. The reason selected is going to come out of the JSON, which we haven't passed yet, so we don't have that information. The email array is going to be the whole email array that comes out of here. And the email 1, 2, and 3, I'll show you what to do eventually. So in terms of a reason, okay, so this thing crashed again. I had to go reset it again. I need to fix this somehow. But anyways, so when we crashed, we tried, before this crashed, we just tried to run the scenario, and there was an issue with the filter. So to get that working, we are going to unlink this and try to see if we can pass this in, see if we can get a response with the JSON in here. So now it gives you a yes or no and a reason bundle. So this way we can properly connect this. So yes. So now the filter is, if it is yes, then it will follow through. And then once that's good, it's going to use the remove spaces to give us a summary. So let me rename this, generate a summary. AnyMailFinder finds emails, and then populate the Google Sheet. So that is our scenario. It's almost complete. We still need to get an email out of this, and we need to get a summary out of this. And we do have a reason in there, so we can go ahead and fill that into the reason selected. So the reason will go in here. So right now, basically, the flow is look at their website, pass the website, see if it's a valid website, and then if it is a valid website, it will check if this is a valid client. And then once we see that it's a valid client, then we get a summary, and only for those valid clients will we start looking for emails, and then we'll populate that into the Google Sheet. I think that should be pretty good as it is. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to go ahead and run it based off of the data set that we originally used the Appify Google Sheets extractor app to run. And now it's going ahead and doing this. As you can see, it's done 5, and at the very end it's determined 2 of them are valid clients. We can go and see in here that yes, Brom's Roofing is 1, and we got a whole bunch of emails which we can then split in here. This one, I guess, does not have emails. It wasn't able to find any for the second one. And so far, I think this is looking good. What you'll want to do here is do a split email by see if that works. And now you have whoops. Okay, there we go. That's better. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in case we have 7 emails that we need to do. Populate that, and then we can split this down for any reason if we have multiple emails. Some of these have many emails, and this is pretty good. I think when we do this, we might need to fix the AnyMailFinder so that it doesn't give you as many emails. So you can see this is doing pretty well. This function is doing its job. It's giving us the company name, the website, their address, phone number, all public information that's on Google, and then description from ChatGPT as to what they do and the reason why they were selected in case we need to know that, and then whether or not it can find an email depends on its availability, but that's essentially how this would go ahead and do the scrape. I need to add a function onto this HTTP to make sure none of that, if that doesn't have an issue. But for the moment, even when it does come across an issue like that, it does have a built-in error resolution feature, so it's not going to stop by itself. So it's just going to keep continuing to do its thing, which is a good thing. And you can see how the filter is actually working really well as well. It's kind of gone through like 40, 41, and then it's ended up with 16. You could essentially keep all of these leads too, but at the end of the day, you want to fine-tune it as much as you can. It saves you the time of having to do that verification yourself. This will help you do that. So like if you had to go somewhere down here and find any of these that mentions a no, if I can find one. Okay, this one's a no. This does not provide relevant information. I guess the website wasn't working or something. Yeah, most of these did. Can be a client 21. Right. Some of these, of course, will not have any output because it couldn't find any information. Like you can see a total account of 0 because it's not going to be able to enrich every single one of them, which is why you'll find some of these missing. Some of these have, some of these are just info at whichever domain. Some of these aren't. So what you can essentially do is you can filter this. Right now I won't need to continue doing this scrape, so I'm just going to stop it here. But essentially what you can do with this list is once you have this, you can once you have this, you can filter. Just go to data and then create a filter, and then you can filter it by emails, right? And you can use this set of leads for your cold email sequence and use this set of leads for your cold call sequence, and you can split it that way and then work with your leads and do something like that. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to show you one more thing. So right now this is just using my default data set, right? So we're going to connect this to our watch actor, run results, right? And okay, let me just do that for a second. Okay, and I will now connect that to our default data set ID, which we get out of here. So this will run automatically whenever the previous scenario runs, right? So what I mean by that is when we run the run Appify search module, and when this is complete, when this actor has finished its job, then our Appify to leads is going to start running. For the purposes, let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take a copy of this blueprint. I'm going to export that and then have that for you in the community. And that's it. And you should be able to get a similar result. I hope you found the video useful. As I've mentioned before, the link to the community waitlist is down in the description. Feel free to check it out. All of my blueprints for the videos, make.com automations that I've posted onto YouTube are on there. If you sign up for it, you will get access to a Google Drive folder which houses all of those blueprints, and you can use them right away. I know I'm a little slow with setting up the community, but bear with me. It will be up soon. In the meantime, for those of you who do join the waitlist, you will get free access to this community, because once it goes up, it's going to be a private community. And as a thank you, I will let you join it for free, and also you will have access to all of the blueprints, including the one that we just did today. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.